Hello, everybody. This is Yang Family Tai Chi Section 1. And today's new move is going to be handstrong salute. So what I'd like to do is run through the first section all the way through left brush knee. And then if there are any questions, we can work on that. I'd like to do a short review of left brush knee, and then we'll do the new move. Okay, so I'm going to turn around and we're going to start from the beginning. Okay, stand with your feet shoulders width apart, toes facing forward, head up. Sink, bend your knees just a little bit. Tailbone down, hands by your side. Prepare. Opening. Turn your palms toward the back. Raise up to shoulder level. And press down, almost to the bottom. Grasp the bird's tail, left brush knee. Shift left, turn right, all the weight on the right. Step and close, swing and pull down. Right brush knee. Right ward off, sorry. Shift right, turn the left foot to the corner, all the way to the left. Pull in, step and close, shift weight and split hands. Roll back. Turn your arms and your waist to the corner. Then come back to the other corner. Press. Pull in the right, attach the left, expand forward. Push. Square up your shoulders, flatten your hands. Come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest, and push forward. Single whip. Shift your weight back, flatten your hands. Turn and pull all the way around. Release the left foot. Ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. Raise hands and step forward. Shift back. Turn your left foot to the corner. Open. Root your right heel and close. White crane spreads its wings. Turn your hands. Pull down. Circle your arms. Step and close. Turn. Step and open. Left brush knee. Turn your hands. Swing, step, brush, strike. Let's turn on the light. Okay, are there any questions? I'd like to review left brush knee. And one of the potential problems with left brush knee, and that has to do with the right arm. So if I am doing it in this direction, which is 180 degrees away from the direction you would normally do it. So if I'm at white crane, what I want you to notice about the right arm is, one, when I'm turning to face, my palm faces me, right? When I swing, I want to make sure that your elbow is down. In other words, I don't want to see this, okay? the elbow has to be down and the palm is up. Also, when you come in before the strike, when you come into your shoulder, you are here. All you're doing is bending at your elbow and coming to your shoulder. Okay. And if you look at it from the side, can you see the side? I am not here. I am here. Okay. So my hand is in front of my shoulder, so that when I strike forward, all I'm doing is just striking forward. Okay. So when I'm here, I'm swinging, my elbow is down. And the reason I get to the corner is that my waist turns. If my waist did not turn, I would be here. It's my waist turning that gets me to the corner. Okay? So make sure you do your waist turn, your elbow is down, your palm is facing the corner, and then as you come back, your hand is in front of your shoulder, and your elbow is not beyond your body, okay? It's within the line of your body. So if we did the whole thing, you would be here, you would turn, swing, step, brush, strike.
May I ask what you mean by your elbow is in line, is not beyond your body? I don't quite understand.
So if you think of a line, okay, if you think of the line being formed by my arm right now, okay, what I mean is I'm here. I'm not here. You see, I'm beyond this line. This is beyond the line. In other words, behind the line. So what happens when it's behind the line is it opens up your chest. Remember we had this body shape? Okay. Once your elbow gets beyond the line of your body, you open up your chest, right? So you lose the energy from your spine going in that rounded shape out your hand for that strike. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So that is always true. You try not to extend your elbow back here because you don't want, and there are lots of places where you could potentially do that. So you're here, and then once you come here, okay, then you're trying to keep that chest concave shape. So here, and then once you're here, and then you come forward. Okay, so I'm going to do it facing you. So if I'm at white crane, I turn my hands. So this hand is facing that way. And this hand is facing me like I'm looking at a mirror. Then I swing, step. Okay, so while this hand is swinging out here, this hand, which had turned its palm to face that way, makes its own circle up and down. And what you should be careful of here is if you're looking at the side, can you see I have this rounded shape here? I am not here cramping myself. I'm out here. Okay, so when I'm here and I turn my hands and I make my circle, I have a rounded shape here, and I'm rounded out here. Okay? Then when I come in with the right, I'm brushing out with the left. So this goes together. So when this is up to down, this is down to up. When this is out, this is in. And then when this is forward, this comes down. And when this is coming down, where is it landing? It's landing at the same spot you were at opening. Okay, so if you think about where you were at opening, almost to the bottom, that's where this hand lands. Okay, so when you're at white crane, you turn your hands. 1, 2, step and close. 3, 4. So I am counting this out so that you get the points of coordination, but I want you to do it smoothly in the sense that I want your weight transfer to be constant. So when I'm here and I swing step, once I go forward, I want to be constantly going forward. I'm flattening out my foot and switching my weight, and I'm going forward. Okay. Any questions?
This is just personal. I want, I just came already from an exercise class and I have a shoulder.
Oh,
I want to know how much I can limit my arms so that it's still correct without necessarily going swing.
just do as much as you can. I mean, that's the thing that I want to make sure you do is you don't have to raise it all the way if your shoulder doesn't allow you to raise it all the way. It's more important to me that you turn when you swing. I don't want you to stress your shoulder out by coming out here. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to when you swing, your waist turns.
All right.
Okay. But don't, just like I didn't want you when you came here to come out here, the same thing with swinging. Okay. I don't want you to swing out here and have your shoulder here. I want your whole waist to go out, have your body help you. Your energy is coming from your body. It just comes out your hands,
Okay, that helps to move.
Yeah, it should help you move because you're swinging.
You swing and move, it's easier.
Yes, you swing and move. Exactly. Okay. And you look at your hand when you're out there. So you look, and then when you come back in, you start looking the other way because you're getting ready to strike your opponent, right? So look at your opponent. Any other questions? So everything has a yin and a yang, okay? So when you're here, you turn your hands left, up, right, down, step, left, out, right, in, as you're shifting your weight. So this is a bow stance. So that means that at the end, you have 60% in the front and 40% in the back, and you should have a straight line from the nape of your neck to the heel of your foot, okay? As opposed to your empty stance. So your empty stance is 70% in the back and 30% in the front. Now, people think when they do their empty stance that they're more upright. They are not. When you step out, how do you know how far to step out? Okay, depending on how low you can go on the back foot, you can step out farther, not so far. Okay. You step out the same distance, whether you're doing an empty stance or a bow stance. The difference has to be in the weight distribution. So if I'm doing a bow stance and I'm stepping out here, I'm shoulder width apart, and I come forward, can you see that my left leg is pretty much straight with a little bend, and my right leg has a bend in the knee, okay? And I have that straight line. If I were to do an empty stance, what happens is that I step out the same distance forward. It's just closer together. And instead of shifting my weight all the way forward, I'm shifting 30%. So my hip is still over my heel. And you see that it's not out here, it's over my heel. And the angle from my neck to my hip is still pretty much the same. Can you see that? So that is the same for both the toe touch and heel touch. Yes. Question?
Is the position of the torso the same, whether it's an empty stance, heel touch, or ball touch?
Yes. Well, no, the torso angle is the same, but the orientation is different. In other words, in terms of the forward and back, it's the same. But if you look at, for example, raise hands and step forward, here is a heel touch. Okay, the angle is still the same, but can you see that my shoulders are more toward the corner?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's because the energy is this way. Okay, and whereas with white crane, okay, when I'm doing white crane, this is a toe touch, right? But it's like this. Okay, so I'm separating this way and I'm square to my opponent. But I'm still angled forward. So if I were to do raise hands, can you see I'm still angled if I'm doing white crane? I'm still angled. It's just that I'm not with my leg straight, with my back leg straight, right? My front leg is more straight than my back leg. I'm not like this, I'm like this. So that's the main difference between the empty stance and the bow stance. Okay, two differences. One is the width of the stance. The bow stance is shoulder width. The empty stance is one line, two sides. Whether it's ball touch or heel touch, it's one line, two sides. The bow stance, you have 70% in the front, and it's because your back leg is straighter. It's pushing it forward. The empty stance is closer together, even though it's the same distance this way, but you can see that the back leg is bent more, and even though this angle here is the same, the hip is more over the foot. Can you see that? And that's why it's 70% in the back and only 30% in the front.
So when you did the bow stance, you said 70-30, but I thought.
Oh, sorry, it's 60-40. Okay, the bow stance, if I'm doing toward you, it's shoulder width apart, the heels are shoulder width apart, and it's 60 in the front and 40 in the back. If it were an empty stance, it would be 70% in the back, closer together, right? And if it's a ball touch, it's more square. If it's a heel touch, it's more toward the corner. So the new move today is going to be a heel touch. And it's going to end up more to the corner. Question?
No, it's just that I thought some of the other instructors said for white crane that it was straight up and down, but maybe they meant the legs rather than the torso.
It's
I thought they
it's
demoed,
straight,
you know.
it's straight up and down in the sense that it's facing straight up and down. In other words, it's facing you. But in order to get the 30% on the front, you're going to have to bend slightly in the torso.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's true.
You know, if you're going to
Otherwise,
push,
you can't.
if you're going to push down, you're going to have to bend slightly to get that weight.
Yeah.
If
You're absolutely
straight
right.
up,
You can't do it.
You
No.
can't get the weight down. Okay?
I must have misremembered. You're totally right. It can't be done.
Okay.
Thanks.
So are there any other questions on empty stance versus bow stance? So the next move is going to be handstrom salute. And unfortunately, handstrom salute is a move that you don't get much practice on because it only appears in the first section. So like Grasp tail, all those others, you can do lots of times, you know, second and third section. But handstrom salute is the only move that's unique to the first section. Okay. Now, I'd like to do a quick review on raise hands and step forward in terms of the ending position, because raise hands and step forward, okay, when you do the move, you start from single width. You shift weight back, you turn your left foot to the corner, and you essentially pivot off your right foot and come back. Then you root the right heel and come together. Okay, I want you to feel coming together. And it will feel like you're going forward because you're rooting the right heel. So from the side, if you were here and you're turning and you're pivoting on the right toe and you're rooting the right heel, when you put your weight down, that 30%, it has a slight forward feeling to it because you're doing that slight bend, right? And you're coming together. And I want you to notice the handshake here on raise hands. What happens is when you're coming together, this hand is pointing to the middle of the right forearm. And both hands are slightly sitting. In other words, this is a round shape here. It's a round shape here. Okay. The ending position of the new move is the mirror image of this. It's this. So you've done this before, so I want you to know that this is just the mirror image of the other one, okay? So I'm going to show you the new move in the direction in which you would do it. And then I'll do it facing you so you can see the end work. Okay, so if you're at left brush knee, you're ending here. What this move looks like is you're going to yield forward, turn your hands, pull in the right foot so that now you're making an empty stance. You're pushing off the toe of the left and then rooting and making this up and down movement. So whereas in raise hands and step forward, remember when you were at raise hands and step forward, what you did was you made this horizontal circle, root, and then come together. This one, what you're going to do is you're going to yield forward and you're going to make a vertical circle and end up and down. So what it looks like is from left brush knee, you're going to yield forward, pull in, and then you're going to make a vertical circle. Can you see that? You're going to end up in a mirror image of the other one, but you're going to get there going up and down instead of coming around. Okay, so let's look at the footwork first. Okay, the footwork in the direction in which you would do it is you're at a bow stance. So this is the end of left brush knee. What you're going to do is you're going to shift forward to release this back foot. Then you're going to pull it in so that the heel is one line, two sides, but it's still 45 degrees. Then you're going to push off the ball of the front foot, root the heel, and then put your 30% on the front foot. Okay, so let's try that again. You're at a bow stance, left foot forward, 60% weight in the front, 40% weight in the back. You're going to shift your weight forward, pull in the back foot so that you're one line, two sides. You're going to push off the ball of the front foot, and then you're going to shift to the heel, and then put your 30% in the front. Okay, any questions on that one? Let's do it a couple more times, okay? Bow stance, left foot forward. Shift weight forward. Pull in the back foot so that you're one line, two sides. Still 45 degrees. Push off the ball of the front foot. Your weight is moving to the back foot. Shift your front foot to the heel and then put your 30% into the front. Yeah.
Now I'm paying attention to the torso angle, and I never really looked at that before, but it looked to me as though the whole time just now you had the same angle in your torso. You actually didn't move it. The legs changed, but am I right?
Yes, I generally do not move my torso. That's true. I am using my legs to shift my weight. Okay, so when I'm here, I pull in, I push off, change to 30%. So even though my hips are now more lined up with the heel of my back, as opposed to when I was in bow stance, the angle is still the same. And one of the reasons why you want to keep the angle the same is, I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of Grasp the Sparrow's Tail, remember I told you, when you did opening determines the pace of your form. But once you do left ward off, what that does is that determines the height. In other words, you should be doing it the whole form at this height, which means, well, with two exceptions. One is if you're standing on one leg, then you're going to be higher up. If you're doing low stance, you're going to be lower down. But other than that, you should try to keep the same height as you're doing the form, which means that all of it is taken up in your legs. Okay, so what you don't want is when you're doing a white crane, you don't want to be up. You see what I'm saying? You want to retain that springiness in your legs. And so all that extra height is taken up in your legs.
Okay, didn't you say that at the end of Grasp the Bird's Tail that we should be upright?
Yes, that's the three exceptions. The
Oh.
three exceptions are single whip, left ward off, and you don't know this one yet, but fan through the back, which looks a lot like single whip. But those are the only three, except for like kicking or golden rooster or any of those standing up ones. So you should generally be leaning forward. And the reason is it's how you get your weight to be distributed correctly. Okay, so if you want to be 60-40, you're going to have more weight in the front. How do you get more weight in the front? You straighten the back more. If you want to be 70-30 with more on the back, then even though I'm still slanted, it's that my hip is more over my heel as opposed to in the middle. Can you see that? You should be able to feel the difference in weight. And it's purely by taking it up on your legs. Okay? So, you know, one of the things that I laugh about when one of the exercises that people do is push hands. And push hands is all in your legs, even though it's called push hands. A lot of Tai Chi is in your legs. All your energy comes from your feet. So even though people think your hands look pretty and so on, yes, the energy comes out your fingertips, but it comes from your feet. Okay. So one of the reasons why it helps your balance is it develops your leg strength. Okay. So now let's look at the hands for handstrom loop. Okay. I'll do it in the same direction as you just to show you again. Okay. So from left brush knee, I'm yielding forward, pulling in, and it feels like a circular motion. So if I'm doing it this way so you can see the hands better, if I look just at the right hand, I am yielding forward. It's as if somebody were pulling my hand. So I'm yielding forward. And then what you should imagine you're doing is then you're holding on to them when you come back and you're pulling them back. And then you break their elbow, basically. So it's this motion. Okay. So you're pulling them and it's up and down. Now, because you know that it's up and down, there's a great temptation to exaggerate this movement. So what do I mean by that? I showed you that the raised hand position because I wanted to emphasize that that's how it ends up. I don't know if you can see. Can you see better here? Okay. It ends up here. This one is slightly lower than this one, but it's not like this. So a lot of times people will think, oh, I'm going to go like this. And it's not. It's, relatively slight. Also, so when it comes up and down, not only is it relatively slight, the energy is from putting your root into the ground. So when you're here, you pull in, you yield, you push off the front, and then when your heel comes down, that's when you get the energy. Okay. The energy is not from having extra waist movement or, or extra hand movement. It's mainly from you come in, push off, and your heel is coming down. Okay, so think of it as a down movement. Okay.
It's not really a very convincing strumming of the lute then.
Well, it's a rather slight strumming, yes. It wants to give you the feeling of this relatively circular movement. So this comes up and this comes down. That's basically what it is. And so the right hand, you yield forward and you come down. Okay. And the left hand, because you are here, essentially when you're here, when this one turns too. Okay. So this one's yielding forward and this one turns so that the palm is facing the right. Then as this one comes in, this one starts coming up. And so this is relatively straight as it comes up. I don't know if you can see better here. Okay, so if I'm here, I yield forward, I pull in. Then as my waist turns, so I want this, it should feel kind of like this. This is kind of an exaggerated sense of it, but that's what it should feel like. Okay, so when you're here, you yield forward, pull in, and then push, and then 30% goes here. And the other thing is that your hands are just like in raised hands, your hands come to the body center. So their hands just like in raise hands, you came here, this one, it's on the center line. Can you see that? The line, I'm lined up with my nose. Okay? Any questions?
That's got way too many things all going on at the same time.
It does have a lot of things going on at the same time. I agree. That's true. And that's why I think of raised hands and handstrum salute as both being deceptively simple. You know, people think, oh, you know, just come together. But it's not really true because the weight shift, the waist turn, you know, the way the hands come together, you know, all have to act together at the same time. So let me do it one more time facing you, okay? So if I'm at left brush knee, I'm yielding forward and turning my hands, right? Pull in, then turn my waist. How do you feel about that? It's not that big a movement, but it is it's relatively subtle. So you're here, yield forward, turn your hands, pull in, turn your waist, push off your ball, root, and up and down. Okay, so this is a mirror image. So can you see this pointing here, just slightly down, and this is slightly cut because you want that rounded shape. Okay. So there you have it. All there is to it. So let's do it a few more times. I'm going to do it facing that way, just so you can see my hands, okay? So we're at left brush knee. At the end of left brush knee. I'm going to move here. Left brush knee. Yield forward. Pull in. Push off the front. Root. 30% in the front. So if you are here, left brush knee, yield forward, turn your hands, pull in the right foot, push off the ball of the left, root the heel as you come down. So rooting the heel is what gives you the energy, okay? It just takes practice. So I'm going to do it in the same direction as you, okay? Just so you're oriented, okay? So if you're at the end of left brush knee, yield forward, pull in the right foot, push off the left foot, you're circling your arms, root the heel, and come down.
Rita, is the foot pointed or are you just flat? The left, flat.
The left foot is pointed, but the left foot is straight to the side, okay? But the whole heel is on the ground, but the toe is off the ground. You're not lifting it up, but it's off the ground. So
Yeah.
all the weight is on the ball of the heel of the foot. Your whole heel is down.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So you're at left brush knee, you yield forward, turn your hands, pull in the back foot. Push off the ball of the front as you circle your arms, root the heel, and at the same time you're coming down, your heel goes 30% into the ground.
Can you do that again, please?
Okay, so you're at left brush knee. Yield forward, turn your hands. Pull in the right foot. Then push off the left ball as you circle, root, and finish.
Okay, got it.
Good. Okay, let's do it a couple more times and then we'll do it from the beginning. Okay? So you're at the end of left brush knee, you yield forward, pull in the right foot. Push off the ball of the left, circling your arms, root the heel, and finish. So let's do it from single width. So at single width, you're here. Raise hands and step forward. Shift weight to the right. Turn the toe to the left corner. Come back, pivot the right toe, root the right heel, and come together. White crane spreads its wings. Turn your hands. Pull down. Circle the arms. Step and close. Turn. Step and open. Left brush knee. Turn your hands. Swing, step. Brush. Strike. Hand strums the loop. Yield forward. Pull in the back foot. Push off the ball of the front as you circle your arms, root, and finish. So one of the things that you should watch out for when you're doing this is that you're yielding toward the front and then you're circling. What you want to make sure of is when you're ending here. You're not back here. So there's a great temptation to pull back and then you lose this open feeling. Okay, don't pull back too much. Okay, you're just pulling. This is relatively straight. So you're pulling back enough so that this faces the middle of the forearm. So don't circle too much. Okay. Also, the disadvantage of circling too much is if I'm doing it here and I'm coming in, if you're coming in too close, what happens is you lose the space in your armpit. If you come too close, okay? So you have to maintain the space in your armpit so that you can maintain the circular position. Okay?
Okay.
I think we have time to do it one more time from the beginning. How about that? And then we'll close class. Okay. So shoulders width apart, toes facing forward, head up, elbow down, knees slightly bent, sink your hips, prepare. Opening, Turn your arms, raise them to shoulder level, press down almost to the bottom. Grasp a bird's tail, ward off left, shift left, turn right, all the weight on the right, step and close, shift and swing up. Right, ward off, shift right, turn the left toe to the corner, shift all the way to the left, pull in, step and close, right ward off. Roll back, turn your arms and your waist to the corner, come back, turn to the other corner, press, pull in the right, touch the left, and expand forward. Push. Square up your shoulders, flatten your hands. Come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest, push forward. Single whip, shift back, flatten your hands. Pull and turn all the way around. Press down, release the left foot. Ward off with the left, hook hand with the right. Standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. Raise hands and step forward. Shift right, turn the left toe to the corner, push, pivot on the right, circle your arms, root the right heel and close. White crane spreads its wings. Turn your hands, pull down, circle your arms, step and close, turn, step and open. Left brush knee, turn your hands, swing, step, brush, strike. Hands from salute. Yield forward, pull in the back foot. Push off the ball of the front as you circle your arms. Root and finish. Okay?
Okay.
So I hope you had time to practice this week. Next week is going to be left and right brush knee. So a lot of brush knee practice next week.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for coming to class.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Bye.
Oh, bye-bye, you're welcome.
Thank you,
So
Rita.
we need for you
Thank
to
you.
what we're doing when we're practicing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.